Hi YouTube, what's up everybody? I thought I would do an offbeat video today, similar to my story videos where I go over things that happen to me, cool and interesting shit, maybe interesting stuff I've done. Today we'll talk about the most interesting celebrity slash successful businessman I've ever met in my life. And I only really remembered this recently because I'm embarking on a side project of mine which is related to fashion and style, specifically to do with hats. And I was remembering probably the biggest name in fashion and style that I've ever met. And this is way before I ever took fashion and style in any way seriously. I met this guy through my mother, who is a fairly well known gardening expert in the United Kingdom. And she, through connections with this guy who's also very into gardening, we got invited to go to Paul Smith's HQ in London. Now, if you don't know who Paul Smith is, it might be because you're quite a young guy, but he is kind of a very big name in menswear fashion, especially in the United Kingdom. He's mostly known for like stripy shirts. I think that's pretty much the main thing he's known for. If you Google him, you'll see the kind of style that he's known for designing. And this HQ that I went to was like the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory of fashion design. It was just this crazy creative mess of a place. They had obviously the offices and stuff, and they had the more structured things, but the dude's like artistic studio and stuff like that was like, it was literally like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. It's the way I would describe it. There was stuff everywhere. There was like textiles and everything they were playing around with. Everything was kind of a mess, but you knew it was like a mess behind this creative force who had helped define men's fashion in the United Kingdom. And he's an international brand. He's got shops everywhere. You should be able to find Paul Smith shops somewhere in most major cities. We even got to have a look at the architectural design. Like one of his offices in his HQ basically designs the inside architecture of the shops, which is really cool. And it's amazing how much detail goes into designing a clothes shop in terms of how you walk around it, what you look at. It's actually, you wouldn't believe, I guess you would actually, everyone kind of knows a bit more about marketing these days and that sort of thing, has how much detail and planning and thought goes into what seems like very small decisions. Paul Smith himself is an amazing man to meet. Like, he's one of those guys who has that gift for memorizing names. So like he'll talk to you like he's known you forever. When you meet people who are good with people, it's like you've known them for your whole life. That's generally that is the defining factor of people who are incredibly skilled socially and extroverted. And he knows absolutely everyone's names. Like there was a group of 7 of us that he was showing around, that my mum had invited with us, and like yeah, he instantaneously knew everyone's name. He'll ask you little things and he'll remember everything you've told him. It's crazy when you meet these people, these like larger than life characters. And you could tell like he knew every single person who worked for him in that HQ. He knew their names, he knew all about them. He was just the prime people person. One of the most like one of the people who's made a biggest impression on me in terms of meeting someone who's hyper successful. And I have met quite a few hyper successful people, incredibly rich people, but this guy was one of the biggest, like I guess one of the most famous people I've ever met. And then he took us to his office, and his office is just like a child's toy house, I guess, where he's just collected all these interesting things that people give him as gifts. He's a huge cyclist. He had these bikes that were used in Tour de France victories. He had one of Usain Bolt's jackets from when he won the 100 meters final or something like that in one of the Olympics that he'd been given by Bolt himself, I believe, or the Jamaican national team. I think he designed some clothes for them. But this man was just so interesting and so obviously built for like the success that he had created. And it really left an effect and impression of me. And this was way before I ever got into fashion and style and that sort of things. It was just a window into someone who was that successful, and he seemed very popular with his employees and very popular with anyone who knew him. He wasn't like that evil oligarchical business owner that some people seem to expect when they meet like very rich and successful people. He was just a delight the entire time. And yeah, it'll always stick with me that there are people who have been incredibly successful who are genuinely nice, decent human beings and who are incredible people to know. And obviously I don't know him, I only met him once, but he knew my mum relatively well through business connections. So yeah, that was my most interesting, successful person slash celebrity that I've ever met. If anyone has any stories about people they've met who've turned out to be awesome, or even if they've turned out to be dicks, let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.